Welcome to RetroQuest, my retro video gaming podcast where I force my son to play old video games. I'm your host, Joystick Cowboy, and with me as always is the teenage prodigy, Taco.
Himself.
Myself. I don't know what you're talking about. So,
the teenage prodigy himself.
His self. Sir.
Hey, let's not get caught up in the grammar of it, okay? This is a retro, not an English episode, okay?
Damn right it isn't. All right. So now that we got whatever weird shit that was out of the way, all this microaggression. So yeah. How you doing today, Sako?
I'm doing pretty good, actually. How about yourself?
I am doing all right. I'm doing all right. Having an all right
Dave?
Life day. Yeah. All the above, sir.
All of the above.
Okay. So how are you doing? What have you been up to this week?
So this past week, I finally got my movie script finished. So now literally everything is ready there except for I need to get cast and stuff. So that's been pretty good. Continuing to work on some music that I want to release in this next coming month. And other than that, I wouldn't say too much crazy has happened. I watched the new Fallout show that came out.
Oh, yes, me too.
Yeah, it's pretty good, actually. I really liked it. If you haven't watched it yet, I would say you should. That's for the audience.
Yes, a great recommendation.
What have you been up to this past week?
Let's see, this week I played some Wizards and Warriors, watched Fallout, which was an amazing show. They did a fucking great job on one of my favorite properties. And I also been playing some Fallout 3.
Let's go, my favorite. That's my favorite. That's literally my favorite.
I modded the shit out of that. I put in, I got like a bunch of mods. Nothing to really crazy, just, kind of HD textures and stuff like that, just to make it look better and kind of quality of life stuff.
Do you have the GEC mod kit for Fallout 3?
I should. I bought the Game of the Year edition on Steam, so I should have it.
Because I know when I bought it for my computer like years ago, I lost the Steam account that I had it for. Sadly, I know it came with the GEC. So.
Oh yeah, I had Fallout 3 on the PC way back in the day, and I had the GEC on that even. Yeah. I never do nothing with it, but it was there.
I tried it out once. I never really did much with it, but I guess I think it's kind of cool idea. You just modify like stats and stuff. Yeah,
like that's cool. Like I think I remember firing it up a couple times and just like, oh, what do I do with this? And then I think I just ended up using it a couple times for cheats, just to like give myself crazy stats and shit like that. Just
as any good gamer would.
Nothing productive whatsoever with it.
Unfortunately, though, Fallout is not a retro game, so it's not dwindled too far there.
I mean, it is.
Even though original Fallout is not that, it's still a PC game.
That doesn't make it. That means it doesn't mean it's not retro.
Yeah, but
plenty of PC games.
We're still quite a ways away.
Command and Conquer, like fucking, that's super retro.
Well, yeah, I know. The Oregon Trail's retro too.
No, I don't think that's retro because I don't consider that retro because it never went anywhere.
DOS, we're talking DOS retro.
Yeah, but you can also play. You can also play it on newer platforms. You can play it in a browser. You played Oregon Trail as a kid, right?
Yeah.
At school?
No, actually.
Oh, in your free time. I played it at school. See, Oregon Trail, to me, I don't see that as retro because it never went away. Everybody still played it and they just kept remaking it to where I don't feel it's retro. I mean, I guess you could play the first game in DOS or on a Mac or Apple.
Kind of just defined Mario.
Well, they don't keep remaking it the same way because
the new remakes of the Oregon Trail are way different.
I for whatever fucking reason refuse to call Oregon Trail retro, and that's something I've never just been able to call it retro. The original Fallout came out in 97, bro. The same year as Final Fantasy 7.
Okay, but when did Fallout Oregon Trail come out?
Fallout 2 was in 98, bro.
Oregon Trail came out in 1971.
Okay, but I don't know. I don't consider it retro because it was never.
That's before you were even born, Dad.
Okay, fine. We'll just have to agree to disagree on this.
I guess so.
Fallout 3 came out in 2008, same year you were born.
It did. It was also like one of the it was the game that taught me how to. I think I mentioned that before. It's the game that like taught me how to read. I think I mentioned that on this podcast before, though.
Yeah, I remember playing Fallout 3 while you were a baby, like rocking you to sleep, like while playing Fallout 3.
That's so funny.
Like, I have mad crazy memories of playing Fallout 3, like while you were a baby, like.
Yeah, that was the game I would always pick up. Like when I got home from school and stuff, I would hop on my PS3 and start playing Fallout 3. And I was like, that's how like I was reading before like I started kindergarten because of Fallout 3.
That's legit. Fallout's amazing. I love Fallout. Maybe we should play Fallout one of these days.
I have it. I have it on because I got it with Amazon Prime.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
I got
it. We can.
I got all the Fallouts. I got the
I'm sure you do.
Well, I had bought New Vegas on Steam like a long time ago. And then I never really bought any of the other Fallout games because I also have Game Pass and they're all on Game Pass. I was like, I can play them like anytime. Plus, I own Fallout 4 on the PS4, PS5. I think I got Fallout 3 on there too. Or no, because you couldn't buy it.
Oh yeah, I keep trying to. You used to be able to buy it on PS4 for like $100.
I think I can play. I got PS Plus, so I mean I can.
Yeah, you can play with PS Plus, but it used to be like for like a little bit of time you could buy Fallout 3 on the PS4, but it was $99.
That's ridiculous. I was like, just buy it on a PC, man. At that point,
yeah, like I was like, yeah, I really want Fallout 3 for my PS4, but not enough to spend $100 on it. I could boot up my PS3 at that point.
But yeah, like I got so many different. Like I got Fallout 4 on PS5. Plus all the Fallouts are on Game Pass. I can play them on my Xbox, or I can install them as Game Pass games. But I don't really like. There's something about playing Game Pass games. I'd rather play a Steam game.
The world is going to hate me for saying this. Fallout New Vegas is overrated.
Yeah.
Like, it's not bad. It's just overrated. People hype it up for way more than it is.
I like Fallout. Well, the thing is, Fallout...
It's good, but...
New Vegas is better than Fallout 3 and 4.
Whoa.
Yeah, because, well, they went off the rails because Fallout had a different sort of vibe than like Fallout 1 and 2 had a different sort of vibe than 3 and 4 and New Vegas. Well, 3 and 4, New Vegas kind of. Because
wanna know why?
Because there's different developers, yeah.
Yeah, 1 and 2 were isometric, like point and click games.
But I'm not talking about the gameplay. I'm talking about just the theme in general. Like the theme of Fallout 1 and 2 was more about, okay, the world's ended. How are we going to live and evolve in this world? Okay.
I thought Fallout 1 was about getting the Gek.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like as an experience. Like the people in the world. Like when you go to Fallout 1 or 2, there's settlements. The settlements are cleaned up. They've cleared off the junk. They've cleared trash out of the way when they made their settlements. They built new buildings. They did all this stuff. And even the buildings they repurposed, they cleaned them out. They took the ashes. Fallout 1 and 2 was about the world after the world coming together and picking itself up after the post-apocalypse or the apocalypse, where it seems like Fallout 3 was more about
which that's so weird though too, because Fallout 1 and Fallout 2 take place so much sooner after the and that's why it doesn't make sense. Like it's like, yeah, these settlements here got their crap together real quick, but the rest of the world is still struggling.
Well, and the thing is Fallout 3 and 4 and New Vegas, they reused so many different enemies that were from Fallout 1 and 2, like rad scorpions and super mutants. And Fallout 1 and 2 take place on the West Coast, California, basically. And Fallout 3 takes place on the East Coast, DC. Fallout 4 takes place in Boston, East Coast. And you gonna tell me that there's rad scorpions in fucking Boston? That there's scorpions in Boston? Why wasn't it like rats? Huge rats or huge like vulture birds?
I can agree with you there. I can definitely agree with you on that end. It does feel like kind of weird.
You look at Fallout 3 and there's trash everywhere, even on settlements, even in people's houses that they live in, there's trash everywhere. Fallout 4, you know,
Really?
same thing. There's corpses sometimes still in houses people live in. They've lived there obviously for years and they've just not cleaned the fucking place up. That's stupid. It's like we're living in this. It's not realistic.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that. That's fair. But New Vegas isn't crazy. Like New Vegas is like still has those places where it's like that too, though.
Yeah, but you also have the settlements where things are cleaned up. Look at New Vegas itself.
Yeah.
It is.
Oh
clean.
yeah, New Vegas is crazy like cleanup.
Like they're clean. Like,
but to be fair, the entirety of New Vegas is built over overarching a vault. So.
Okay, I'm just saying that the aesthetic wasn't necessarily captured.
Yeah, I'll give you that. That makes sense.
I played Fallout 1 and Fallout 2, not when they released, but not long after. And it was a long time between I played Fallout 1 and 2 and then I played Fallout 3. You know, it wasn't like I came to Fallout 3 and that's how I found the franchise. I played Fallout 1, Fallout 2. There was another one I played that was like an action RPG Fallout. I don't know what it was.
Fallout Tactics. Fallout Tactics is what you're talking about.
Was it Fallout Tactics?
Yeah, Fallout Tactics.
I played that one, and you know what? It's
a game.
I like all the Fallouts. Let me tell you what. Like honestly, I think Fallout. I want to say Fallout New Vegas. Okay, here's the weird thing. I think Fallout New Vegas is a better game than Fallout 3, but Fallout 3 is my favorite Fallout game.
That's so real of you, actually. That makes sense.
Like
I guess I can agree with that on that end, I guess. I feel like maybe my whole reason I dislike Fallout New Vegas so much is because of how hyped it is. I'm definitely one of those people where it's like, oh, this thing is super popular, I have to hate it.
You're very contrary. You're contrarian.
Well, because it's like if everybody else likes this, like, and I don't like it, like I genuinely just not the biggest fan of New Vegas anyways. Like I've played through the game multiple times. I got Fallout New Vegas Game of the Year edition.
Welcome to my Fallout podcast.
Yeah, that's like I played it like many times. It's never interested me too much. But as you said, as I tried to move us off the topic earlier, Fallout is not the topic of today's episode.
It's not. Lo and behold, it's actually a retro game that's on a console.
Oh, it is for the NES.
What's the game we played this week, Sago?
Wizard and Warriors.
Wizards, plural, and Warriors. There's more than one wizard, bro. It should be Wizards and Warrior because there's only one war. Well, I guess there's multiple knights. Yeah, Wizards and Warriors. Plural on both parts. So yeah, we played this game. One of my favorites. So first, let's tell me about your first impressions of this game.
Yeah, so I pick it up, and it kind of reminds me of like just your average like NES super like wannabe famous like but not super big game from like the 8-bit era, right? Like, but it's pretty good actually. You get into
wannabe famous.
Yeah, like there's a lot.
Wizards and Warriors is a classic, dude. It's Wizards and Warriors.
No, but I'm saying like it at first it feels like that's what it's gonna be, but then you get into it and it's like, oh, this is a solid game. Like this is
it's dope. I mean, especially for like a very early NES game.
Yeah,
pretty deep.
It took me a bit to figure out all of the controls, like realize that like jumping when an enemy hits my sword, then they die.
Yeah,
but if they hit your leg, you die. And you can bounce off of them, but you have to take damage to bounce off of them, right? There's a lot of learning, and it's a weird learning curve. But once you get it, it's actually pretty fun to like master the controls. But I liked it. The first impression was good, which is weird because most of these games, my first impression is bad, and then the game is good. I genuinely liked this game from the moment I picked it up.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I'm glad. Well, let me tell you a little bit about the game. So Wizards and Warriors is a platform video game developed by Rare for the Nintendo Entertainment System. It was
always Rare.
It's not though, but it was published by Acclaim. Now I would stand by and hear you say it's always Acclaim more than Rare, but published by Acclaim and released in North America in December of '87 and Europe in January 1990. In the game, the player controls Kuros, Knight Warrior of the Books of Excalibur. I don't know. There's no Kuros in the fucking any Books of Excalibur I heard, but he sets out in the kingdom of Elrond to defeat the evil wizard Malkil. Malkil holds the princess of Elrond captive.
Clearly a bunch of other ones too.
Yeah,
like,
and
like
also
5 more.
Some other chicks too, but we're not worried about them. They're just along the way. You know, they're in Castle Ironspire, deep in the forest of Elrond. You know, you fight through forests, tunnels, caves, collecting keys, treasures, weapons, magic items. Wizards and Warriors is actually the second game that Rare released for the NES after the skiing simulator Slalom in '87. Now that's a super.
I think I've seen that before.
Have you seen Slalom? Slalom is one of those black box NES games. You know, where it's just like a black box with pixel art of like actual pixel art from the game on the front, and it just says,
yeah.
You know, like,
those are the best kinds of games. Nobody can change my mind.
Those are the super, like the early NES games were black box.
Wasn't Mario a black box game?
I believe Mario was a black box game.
Yeah, I thought so because I feel like remembering that correctly. Right. But anyways,
so,
yeah.
And Slalom wasn't bad. I remember actually digging it as a kid. I don't
know if I ever played it though.
We'll have to. I don't know if we could fucking make an episode on Slalom. Maybe we'll have to do like a Excite Bike / Slalom fucking episode. But
that would be such a solid episode.
In the months surrounding its North American and European releases, Wizards and Warriors was featured in a number of video game magazines, including Nintendo Fan Club, News, Nintendo Power, and Video Games and Computer Entertainment. The game was praised for its graphics, sound, difficulty, and arcade-style gameplay. In 2010, Retro Gamer called Wizards and Warriors a unique experience for the NES gamers. In '87, it was technically well ahead of other games for the console at the time. I don't know about that. The fact that you had unlimited continues kind of lowered the difficulty because there's not so much of a penalty. You never really have to worry about start over unless you're going to start the game, like play it again. It has three sequels: Iron Sword, Wizards and Warriors 2, which that's definitely a game. Wizards and Warriors X, The Fortress of Fear, I believe that's for the Game Boy, and Wizards and Warriors 3, Kuros, Visions of Power, which I played briefly but don't know much about.
Yeah. Do you know where else this game character was featured in outside of just Nintendo magazines?
You don't happen to mean a certain cartoon.
Yeah, I could never be talking about the one and only Power Team.
Did you watch Power Team?
I watched the first episode. Oh
my god, that's such a bad episode. Yeah, I got to the first episode and was like, that's about all I can have of that.
It was a trip. It's like it reminded me of the Super Mario Bros. Show in like the sense of it keeps switching between like this animation of like these characters and then like just like this real life thing that like makes no sense, like it has no connection.
Well, no, because it was just a cartoon that was featured in was it Video Power?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, Video Power was an old TV show, but yeah, it definitely doesn't hold up. Like if I was gonna watch more than one of those episodes, and I'd have to smoke a lot more of my medicine. Anyhow, so yeah, let me tell you a little bit about my history. Oh, yeah. My history with the game. So this is a game that I owned. It was a game I owned early on.
One of the few.
Well, yeah, it's one of the few games. I actually owned a lot of Nintendo games throughout my life, but it was a game I owned pretty young. My grandma got it for me. She thought it looked cool and got it for me. I played it. Dude, this game was so cool when I was a kid. This was like I'm going to learn to get good at this game. This is one of those first games where I actually got skilled at the game. Like I learned it. Like there are a lot of things you have to really kind of like ascertain if you're too young to read an instruction manual and shit like that. Like you have to, there's a lot of little things. Like it took me so long to learn that you press select and you can use your item.
Oh, you can?
Yeah.
Damn.
Like, you know, when you get that wand of power, you press select to shoot a little beam out.
I thought it just like did stuff and I didn't know what it was doing. I thought it just did something.
No, it's depending upon the item you have on your, I think your last slot on your little item list.
Yeah, but I never realized like that you could use it. I thought it just like did something to like what you had, like to your like damage or something.
Oh,
maybe.
No, yeah. There's two different wands you can get. One freezes and one does damage. You can get the boots, which the boots say you can kick treasure chests and doors open.
I don't believe that.
I couldn't get it to work.
Me neither, but it did say that. I saw that when I read it. I was like,
and then you know, the instruction manual. You get one of the weapons is the dagger of power or the dagger of throwing. You know what the item description for the dagger of throwing is?
What?
Helps you throw the dagger of throwing farther.
That's so funny.
Because
why is that so funny to me?
Because before you couldn't throw it more than like out of it.
Oh yeah, it's like really short.
Well, no, you didn't have it before that.
No, oh yeah.
Like you get the dagger of throwing and it lets you throw the dagger, but the item description in the manual is lets you throw the dagger.
It helps you.
Yeah. So that's dumb. But yeah, going through this as a kid, you know, learning how to get past those red knights, how you have to bribe them. And then the platforming is so loose, you have to be so precise a lot of times on these jumps. Like more precise than a game like this you think would require. And then the combat is so like you have to learn the combat in this game. This reminds me of like an early kind of, I hate the word, but like a Souls-like, because you can't just jump into this game with any other game knowledge and be good at it. Like you have to learn this game. You know? Yeah,
I could definitely see that. Like this is not the kind of game that you're gonna really benefit from other games having played, and other games aren't gonna benefit to play this one.
Like the fact that you swing your fucking sword like 6 inches in front of you. Like that's it. Like you swing it and he doesn't really swing it. He just kind of moves it back and forth.
Bro slashes.
When you but he doesn't slash down. He just kind of makes a circle in the air with his fucking sword.
Yeah, he's not the brightest pencil in the box.
You know, learning how to jump and attack with your sword, how you just kind of have to hit them. You can't really swing your sword. Learning how to effectively use those levitation boots. As a kid, I put a lot of time into it. One of the first games I ever beat, I don't think it's the first, but it's one of the first. I actually remember, I have the memory in my head of the first time I beat Wizards of Warriors because I was so proud. Because this game that I really didn't know what to think of it, except for I liked it. You know, the bosses were kind of weird, always kind of creeped me out. Had a very dark aesthetic, but fuck, man, this game, I loved this game as a kid.
I could see that. This definitely seems like one of the games I would hear you saying that about on this podcast.
Yeah, very much so. So, yeah. Should I tell you a little bit about the plot?
Maybe tell me a bit about the development.
Okay, so Wizards and Warriors was developed by UK-based video game company Rare. You've heard of Rare, right?
Yes, I'm pretty sure we've talked about that before.
What was the last game? We played a game that they made earlier. What was it? Did they make?
I do not remember what game it was that we played. Well, I'm pretty sure we did.
Did they make that Freddy game?
Oh, maybe they did. Maybe that's the one I'm thinking of.
Because it's either that Nightmare on Elm Street game. I don't think they made that. Because Acclaim did publish the Friday the 13th game, but I think it was that one trash video game developer that made Friday the 13th.
Oh, what was the name of that one?
J,
the one that makes the toys or something.
Yeah, I can't think of it. Whatever, right now. You know what we're talking about. But so maybe it was the Freddy game. Anyhow, it was developed by Rare for Nintendo Entertainment System, released by Acclaim in North America in '87. It would later be released by the same company in Europe in 1990, and in Japan it was released by Jaleco under the title Densetsu no Kishi Elrond, Legendary Knight Elrond, in '88. This would be Rare's second NES game after Slalom, and the game's soundtrack was composed by video game composer David Wise. Now, I find it really interesting that Rare, which is based in the UK, released this game in America in 87 and in Europe in 1990. I think that's weird that in their own country, it was 3 years before they got it.
Yeah, that is weird. Wait.
That's weird, right?
Whoa.
Because there were more
really
Nintendos
weird.
in America. There was a bigger market. I mean, I understand, but it was also released in Japan in 88, 2 years before the UK.
I guess, but that's still so weird to me for some reason.
Let me tell you a little bit about the plot. So you're Kuros, the Night Warrior of the Book Excalibur, and that's the main antagonist. There's a evil fucking sorcerer, Malkill, and he's supposed to be the greatest wizard of the land, super evil. He's the one that taught Merlin, apparently, in this plot. But
yeah, I'll pretend I know that.
But Malkill has gone crazy and started using his power to be an evil bastard. And what happens?
Oh no.
He captures the princess and holds her in this fucking castle Ironspire, deep in the forests of Elrond.
Oh yeah, it's in there.
And then you leave and come back. So the game, you play Kuros, who summoned to venture through the forest with his legendary bright sword. Sword powerful enough to beat demons and fucking skeletons and flying random ship. And all the other creatures that have fallen under Malkill's spell. He goes through, ventures forth, Ironspire, rescues some other chicks that they never fucking mention once. And also the princess.
Yeah. So I wonder, maybe the chicks were just the friends we made along the way.
Those were the friends we met. So let's talk some more. So what do you think about the plot? Does that even make any sense to you?
I feel like I kind of got
it's a very generic plot, but
oh yeah, it feels very very NES era-esque.
Evil wizard went crazy, captured a princess. Go save her. All right, sounds about NES to me.
Yeah, sounds like your average NES game where you do platforming stuff.
Will I have items along the way and boss matches?
Will I perhaps be collecting random treasures?
Will I? Yeah.
Am I saving a princess from an evil dude because she was kidnapped? Mario? No, it's just wizards and warriors.
Listen. Bowser was not a wizard. He just threw fire out of his mouth.
Close enough.
And not daggers, but hammers, apparently.
And daggers.
That's the dagger of throwing. He throws the hammers of throwing. Help you throw hammers.
Yeah. He got them from his good friend, Hammer Bro.
Okay, so let's talk about the gameplay.
Yeah.
So, Wizards of Warriors is a platformer in which you control Kuros as he makes his way through the forests of Elrond to Castle Ironspire, which we've mentioned a million times, defeating Malkill to rescue the princess. They don't ever say her name, do they?
I don't think they do. It just said you rescued the princess. I'm like,
no, okay. They do say her name because every time you rescue a princess, it says her name. Was her name like Grizel or something? I think her name was like
It did not say the last one. It did not say the name of the last one. It only gave names for the. It did not, because that stood out to me specifically.
Oh, I remember seeing the princess's since this is name and being like, oh, it was like a weird, like Grizel or some weird shit. Anyway, you rescue the princess. After you start the game, the map is briefly shown. You look at it. Afterwards, the game starts. You start in Elrond Forest, and you must explore the trees, top and inside the trees to find items to get to the cave. You start collecting different items and treasure. You must make your way through caves filled with ice and lava. Afterwards, you go through a second forest before going to the castle. Then you go through the castle up and down. There's kind of a mazy area there. Keys get a little bit more, not technical, but a little harder to get than the other levels. Use the D-pad to control horizontally. You can crouch. You attack enemies with the bright sword and other magic. You can't attack people in the air if you just hold the sword in position and kind of jump into them.
Yeah, jump at them.
Stupid as fucking like.
It's like just slices them in half as they come at you, I guess.
But you don't even move your sword. It's like you just gonna hold your sword in this one spot and then just jump at them and hope you jumped correctly instead of like just swinging at them.
Oh yeah, because if you miss the sword by any chance, like it hits your leg or something, you still take damage.
Like, yeah.
So you have to jump at the perfect like time, get the right amount of like height. And like, it's what? You can't, because you can't swing at all. And it's like, come on.
Yeah. Well, the objective of the game is to collect different weapons and magic and gems and treasure. Use those items to get past enemies and other obstacles and hazards. And then you collect the gems. The gems you use to bribe the, like, I don't know if it's like just a dark knight or if it's a creature in a knight's costume, but basically you just bribe the knights who guard the different entrances, which if those are like minions of Malkill, those are some shitty minions because there's gems literally fucking everywhere and they're not very hard to I mean 100 gems, if you're like gonna be bribing or getting bribed for like an evil wizard, I feel like 100 gems is pretty cheap because when if that sorcerer or whatever like makes it through this, he's coming after your ass. Like let that guy get to you. Like that's a cheap bribe, and I feel because there's fucking gems literally everywhere. So you bribe the creatures so that you can progress, and at the end of each level you get like a little boss that's empowered by Malkill's magic. And so they have a black magic power meter that shows, the difficulty and how many hits are required to defeat it, and what type of weaponry needs to use. Kuros has a life meter that
What
increases.
is the evil thing for? What does the evil do?
That's their evil power thing, I think.
It never did anything for me. I never was able to figure out what it did.
I think it's just their life meter. That's the enemy's evil black magic power. In Kuros' life meter, it decreases as time passes. And when he gets amped, which kind of gives you that sort of, there's not a timer in the game, but there's a timer in the game.
There's not a timer, but there's a timer.
Players lose a life when his meter runs out, but when you restart, you keep all the items that you've gained up to that point. And when you've died 3 times, you get to continue. And you get to restart the level. You keep the items, but your score goes to 0. That's what makes it not such a hard game, is the fact that you have unlimited continues. Along the way, you pick up many items: acorns, torches, treasure chests. The treasure chests are color coded.
Acorns? Did we just say?
Acorns. Those are those things that are hanging in the air that you like hit, and you get gems and shit from them.
Oh, I never realized you got gems from those. Yeah,
well, you get all kinds of different things from it's random.
I never hit them. Not a single time. I will be completely honest.
Well, there's stuff in them. Think of them as candles in Castlevania. Which you have never played, so never mind. Anyhow, the chests are color-coded. You have to find the key that corresponds to that color's chest. Whatever, I don't think those sentences made sense. But anyhow, you find the keys. And then you also come across, if you have an item that you can only get once and you've already gotten it in a previous level, and then you'll come across like a dark red, I think. It's like a weird colored chest, and you can't open it, I believe, unless it just happened to me one time, and I'm assuming it happened all the time.
So when a chest is closed, this is something I did know specifically. If a chest is closed and you have its colored key, that means you already have the contents of it.
Okay, so yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It says the boots of force can kick open chests. No idea.
I don't think so.
You have magic potions that you can give you invulnerability, extra speed, big jumps, kind of to help you with the boss. You get a shield to protect from projectiles, a potion of levitation, which is the coolest fucking thing, because you can press up to just like float, and then you can jump out of your float, or you can like jump and then float.
I like that one.
Yeah, and then you get the dagger of throwing and the battle axe of Agor, which are both just throwing items. The cloak of darkness, which makes you invisible, but which doesn't make you invisible to enemies. It just makes you invisible to you. So
You're kidding.
basically useless, basically hard mode, because now you don't see you, but the enemies do. Makes it harder to do those jumps. Boots of Lava Walk, very self-explanatory. You only really need them in one level.
And even then, you still take damage on the lava, so it's not crazy, cool anyways.
It's not super effective. And then you get the exploding eggs that destroy everything on screen. Alarm clocks that stop all enemies, Then there's a horn, and the horn is supposed to reveal hidden doors. Never used it. Don't know if it works. It might be a glitched item. I don't know. Yeah. And then you can also get orbs and chalices and hordes of treasure. You get the hordes of treasure when you defeat a boss. It just gives you mad score. Now, what did you think about the gameplay?
I like the gameplay. I liked, as I mentioned earlier, the platforming is nice. It feels very responsive, except for when you jump and hit something and it kind of just moves into your sword and it disappears. But other than that, it's very responsive.
This game.
Really? I like it's puzzly platforming. You have to figure out where to go. I feel
that's the platforming is I see the puzzly aspect of it, because a lot of times it's back and forth to find the key, get the thing, get another key, get the thing, so you can get all the gems to open the gate. But I don't like the physics of the jumping. The jumping physics I really do not like, and I think that the platforming is kind of precise, but it's not pixel perfect. It's hard to judge sometimes if you're going to make a jump, or if you're, sometimes, it looks like you'll make the jump and it looks like your foot touched that pixel and you still fall. Might be just a problem, but I do not like the platform. That's the one thing I don't like in this game is the platforming. The jumping, it has to do with jumping in this game. I don't like jump attacks in this game. I don't like the platforming. I like the mazes. I like the puzzly aspect of, finding the keys and back and forth. I like that. I actually like the combat. I just don't like the jumping. I just don't like the physics of jumping in this game.
That's fair. I guess that makes sense. I can kind of agree with that on that level of where you jump and it looks like you really just landed on something. Oop, no, you didn't. It's oh, okay, my bad. I really I touched that, but whatever. I'll fall down this entire level real quick and reclimb my way up.
See, that's what I hate so much, because there's not a whole lot of left and right. It's mostly up and down. So when you miss a jump and you fall, and then you have to fucking go all the way back up those trees again. Oh my God. That first level, fucking all the levels, all those, you have those things that fly at you out of nowhere, and you're trying to fucking precision jump, and they hit you and knock your jump out of whack, and it just the jumping.
Yeah.
What do you think of the combat?
I think it was pretty cool. I liked the boss fights more than I liked the rest of the combat.
Yeah.
The rest of the combat, it was very easy to get overwhelmed for no reason.
Yeah, because it's because you have a not a long swing on your sword. Once you get the dagger in that first level, it opens up the combat a lot.
Oh yeah.
Because now you can attack in the air. You can attack when you're sitting down. I mean, you can only throw a little bit at a time, and they don't go very far. But the axe goes farther, and you can shoot two of them instead of one. So it's it opens it up once you get that projectile, because then you have range.
Yeah.
And the combat, like crouching,
I never really had to use it more than once or twice.
Yeah, not really so much. It's just it's a lot about timing in this game.
Yeah, definitely.
Like the regular enemies, it's a lot of timing to hit them correctly, because those regular enemies will overwhelm you quickly, because they just keep coming sometimes. If you didn't defeat one, another one's coming. Yeah,
and it never ends. And it's like, whoa. And it, you think they'd have a sprite limit, but I never seem to encounter one.
Yeah, it's just, man. The combat, I like the combat. So, I mean,
I'm a fan of the combat, but it's rough.
What do you think about all the items and the stuff? Did you kind of dig on the different abilities you got from the items? That's one of the things I liked as a kid is you got these different items and they actually did shit. Like some of them were passive and some of them weren't. And like I thought all the items, they reminded me in a way the way when you're getting different items in Zelda. Like the items just add another layer to the game. Like once you get the throwing dagger, now you got range. Now you can actually battle. Like before you get the dagger of throwing, combat is a bitch. It's hard because you have to get right up to the enemies to attack them.
Yeah. You know? Okay.
You get the what?
I wasn't super like the items. I never really used them that much. I guess. As I said, I didn't know I could.
Well, I don't mean just items you use, but even like the.
I do like the character progression though. Like you get stronger armor and stuff the more and more it goes on.
Well, you don't really get stronger armor. You get a shield.
Well, you get like more life as the game goes on, don't you?
No.
I guess I just kind of assume that as
the second Wizard of the Word game, you do a little bit of progression, but not this one. I mean, this one about the best you get is you get like that shield. I mean,
yeah. That deflects some enemies.
Yeah, but like your attack never really gets stronger except for like the transition from the dagger of throwing to the battle axe of Agor.
Which I never ended up getting, sadly.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah. It's not huge. It's not.
I just don't think I ever came across it. I never found it.
I think it's in. I want to say it's in the ice cave.
I honestly didn't do much looking at like items like in chests and stuff until towards the end.
Oh, really?
I didn't really think about it too much. Yeah, it was just kind of like, oh, this is here, whatever.
All right. Well,
I never really got super into the chests unless I needed them.
All right. Well, let's talk about the levels real quick. So you start off in the forest at Elrond. It's basically a very vertical forest. You know, you start off. You got those eagles.
An oddly vertical forest
that you're not really going through. You're going up, basically. You're going up so that you can go down. You know, you basically the enemies here fucking suck. You got those eagles. You got that eagle that's up near that treasure chest that comes down.
Yeah, they have some of the hardest enemies in the first level.
Like that eagle that stands above that chest that like knocks you out if it hits you.
Yeah, it's like, what? Why do they have some of the hardest enemies on the first level?
And those sprites that are inside the trees when you're going up and down, man, and those are a pain in the ass. The up and down sections in the trees, I think, are the most tedious parts of this level. But you go through here and you get the shield of protection. You can get the dagger of throwing here, boots of force. So you're basically getting 100 diamonds. You're gonna get the 3 keys, and then you're gonna bribe the red knight so you can go down a fucking tree trunk into the caves. So you've fallen down this fucking tree trunk, which I think is a hilarious level. I love it for whatever reason because it reminds me of Plinko from Price is Right. Only you're the Plinko.
Oh. Okay, that's fair.
So you go through there and then you end up in the ice cave, and then the ice cave I really don't like because it has those faces that shoot at you.
Yeah,
but ice cave not super long, so it's all right. And you get the potion of levitation here, which is one of the better items in the game. It's pretty simple. Sure. You know, you go through. This is where you can get some of those really. I hate platform challenges here, where it's like a slope in a small corridor where you have to like perfectly jump and control your jump through that. So you land on the top of the slope so that you can go up that little hill. Oh fuck, hate that shit. But eventually you'll make it through there, and then you get to the a lava cave, which is very straightforward. The first part you just have to make it across, and then the second part you just kind of go up and down, and it's a little bit tedious, but that's kind of a smaller level in my opinion, and I don't think that one's too hard because there's like the main area you go up, get the key and the treasure chests, and then you just go down and then you collect diamonds along the way. You know, I don't think that's too hard. And then that leads you to the purple cave, which I think is a pain in the fucking dick.
It is. I hate it.
That purple cave is so big.
I really didn't want to, but I ended up, no, wait, actually, I was about to say I used a map. No, that's for wait, I used that in the castle. So never mind. I used it without a map.
I used a map there simply to find the hidden chambers so that I can get enough fucking diamonds to pay off the guy. Like, that was, I collected, I think I collected every gem in that level, and I didn't have enough. I think the guy there is 200.
Yeah.
And so I had to actually,
right.
Yeah, you have to actually find the hidden chambers to progress.
Talk about not having enough diamonds.
Right? And then
when we get towards the end, it gets bad.
And then through all this work, we go back up to the fucking forest to Elrond, which is another vertical fucking.
Couldn't we have just walked through the forest?
That was my thought. Like, if you look at the map, why don't you just walk straight? Like, unless there's crazy moats or something, or there's some kind of spell where you have to go around. It looks like the shorter trip was just a straight trip. Just go.
Like, it'd be one thing if it was quicker to like go down and everything. No, it's like a whole trip.
My assumption is this evil guy set up a barrier that you have to like go underground and then up into the barrier. Because then you go to the second tree house area, tree level, and same thing as the first one. Up and down till you get the fucking gems, and then you fight that really big giant spider that looks retarded. Like, I mean, I love it, but it looks retarded, dude. I love the boss of this game, but they're fucking retarded. They look retarded. Used to kind of creep me out when I was a kid. And then you get to the castle, and you go to the castle exterior, which I think is the coolest level of the game. Like, it just looks cool because you're going up and down, and you're going on the little turrets and stuff, and then the guy that you have to bribe is like right at the beginning, but you have to go up and through the level to get the gems and come back down and bribe him until you get to the interior part of the castle. But I still think that exterior castle level is fucking cool. The interior castle, both the interior castle levels are just basically fucking mazes.
Annoying mazes.
Like super annoying mazes. Like, those levels can eat a dick. You got the gold interior, the blue interior, and then back to the gold interior. And then you got that skeleton that when you fight him, he gets bigger and bigger. That's like my favorite fucking.
I like that one. That was actually a cool fight.
Cool. Like, that is the boss I'd remember when I remember this game. Is remember fighting that boss more than even the end boss. Just because that was the one that in my mind.
The end boss feels so like weird.
Because it's a different kind of battle than the rest that you're really used to.
I was able to, once again, just stand in one place and essentially beat him.
Of course you did.
It seems every game I can find.
The boss level is kind of lame because you go through the two castle levels, and then you get to the boss level.
Let's not forget what it takes to get into the boss level. It's 100 diamonds to get into the boss level. And in that level, there's only 47 diamonds. So you have to spend a good long while grinding to get enough diamonds.
I forgot about that. Yeah. Don't forget to get any diamonds along the way. But guess what? It's not. Yeah, that is a pain in the dick because you have to just kill and kill and kill until you get enough diamonds. And it takes such a fucking long time.
Dude, it took me like an hour even with my speed up on like the entire time at like 10x.
Yeah, I think that's what I did. I think I stood in one spot, turned my turbo on, and then just held down in the corner, and and monsters just flew at me, and I was just throwing my dagger, and I was just like watching TV or something.
Yeah, I think I was watching the Fallout TV show as I did that. I was just like waiting. I like check it every few seconds, see if I had enough, and it took me like an hour because I got like through an episode, and I was like, "What? Yeah. No way! It took that long."
You do that, and then you get to the Malakil's level. Have you ever looked at a map of Malakil's level?
Yes, it's a skull.
It's a skull, but it's like a wacky skull that looks almost like the skull from the boss that you fight before this.
Yeah.
Which I think is super cool. I didn't know that as a kid, obviously, because I didn't see it, the whole map at once. But that boss fight, even as a kid, I think I found it anticlimactic.
Very.
I think it took me more strategy and attempts to beat the other bosses along the way. I don't know if it was the fact that the journey to get to him got me into a place where I was good enough to beat him easily, or if he was just easy boss. I don't know.
Maybe both.
Like, it might be a little bit of A, a little bit of B, but this time I fucking smoked him like it was nothing. Like, I was prepared mentally, like, all right, I'm gonna do this. This is gonna be a battle.
I didn't even know what I was going into, and I took him out quick. Like, it wasn't a difficult fight.
I didn't want to do no cheats. I just wanted to beat him and see what's up, and I didn't use no cheats, and I fucking beat him. And like, I think I died once and then beat him on my second shot.
I literally beat him first shot. That was the easiest fight I've ever done.
The reason he
aside from every other fight we've ever done.
The reason he beat me on my first shot is because I believe that I had like half gauge of health or something.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah,
I don't know, and it's always me in finding these weird places I can just stand and defeat the bosses from and take like no damage the entire time.
So we beat Malkill, rescued the princess, and
then we put in our initials.
And then we put in our initials.
And it gives you maximum points. Like, it gives you 999. Like, it fills out your points. And then it's like... And then, like, puts you, like, at the top of all these people. It's like 1,000 points, 25 points, 7 points. It's like, no one got through this game with 25 points.
Right. So that is the game all together in a nutshell. Would you like to say anything else about this game?
No, there's not much. This isn't one of those games like you can say much about.
I don't know. I feel like I said a lot. I could talk more about this game.
Oh yeah, like we could, but like at some point it's gonna get redundant because it's very like the game is very much. It's very simple, and like that's not a bad thing. It's good for its time. It's just simple, and that's good.
Okay. Did you like the graphics? I thought the graphics were great as a kid.
I like the graphics. I
think they hold up today.
I like the sounds. Graphics.
Not so much.
It was one of those games where I couldn't do the sound, so I had it off and just did other things, like listen to music and stuff.
I like the graphics. Even today, I think the graphics are kind of cool. They capture the right aesthetic that I want them to capture.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
All right. So, unless we can wrap this up with a bow, put a nice little bow on top. 8 bits. So, what would you give Wizards and Warriors for the NES out of 8?
I'm going to have to go with a solid 6.
Solid 6?
Yeah.
I can respect that.
So that's like a 7.5 on a scale of 10.
Me, myself, I would have to give this a 7.
Okay. I can see that. You seem like the type.
I feel like it's a 6, but my nostalgia for this game is pushing it to a 7. I'll probably play this game again sometime soon.
I hate to say it, I might not.
That's okay. This is a game that I see from my childhood as one of my games I hold dear as, it just means something to me. And I haven't played it in a very, very long time. Playing it again, I kind of want to speedrun this game. I want to see if I can speedrun this game. And this seems like a game that I find like
speedrun community.
I can speedrun this. It would take me some time, but I think I could.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got any? Well, I got an announcement I want to make. What I did something recently is I shut down the RetroQuest Twitter and I shut down the RetroQuest Facebook. I set them up when I set the podcast up, but I'm going to be honest, I'm not going to do nothing with them.
Yeah,
I'm not going to go on Twitter and post shit for this place or whatever. So I updated the link tree with just my socials and your socials.
That's fair.
I think I'm still in the process of finalizing our link tree, but our link tree should, take you to my YouTube, my Twitch, my Twitter, all that stuff, and also your stuff. Basically, that's that. You can catch our show on Spotify, on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, all the podcast aggregators, RetroQuest podcast on YouTube. You can catch me, Joystick Cowboy, at everything. It's at Joystick Cowboy on everything. What about you, Sako? Where can they find you?
Teenage Prodigy or Sako Gaming. Most socials, it's both. You can find me by looking up both because one will be my username and one will be my display name. So you can find me on most socials by looking up either.
And like I said, we'll have all those links in our link tree.
Yeah. You can, as always, check the link tree. Check my Instagram is going to be where the most of the movie updates go to until I transition over to the Teenage Productions Instagram, which will probably end up linking there once I do that. But until then, Teenage Prodigy on Instagram will be all my movie updates. But other than that, I'm not really active on social media too much right now. So
yeah, me neither.
Catch me here. Catch me on my other podcast. Other than that, maybe on Twitch every so often, and sometimes when I release music.
I post random shit on Twitter, not really on Facebook, but on Twitter. I will have projects in the work. I'm not going to keep talking about them until I actually do them. So yeah. Don't forget to rate and to subscribe to us. Give us a thumbs up on YouTube. Rate and review us on any of the podcast services. From what I heard, it really helps. There's no algorithm when it comes to podcasts. It's all rating and reviewing. So do that. Yep. All right. So that's all I got. What about you, Sako?
That's all I got. Signing out, this was Teenage Prodigy and his dad, the Joystick Cowboy.
Bye.
Bye.